Welcome to 5 Under 5. These are the refresh, hot tips, reminders following day one of the coaching with AG Barr. So today is lesson number 1. Hot tip is open questions. It's about 5 bums on a bench. What are the open questions? What, where, when, who, why, and how? These are the questions that help to get story. They get information. They enable the person to clarify a situation for themselves, and they give you depth of understanding. It's also super important to understand which questions to ask and when, because some of these questions are more powerful or create different responses. Here's a question for you. What was the first occasion in your life ever that someone asked you a question beginning with why? Who was that person? What was the question they were asking you? Now, some of you are probably smiling and thinking about a parent and they were telling you off. Why did you do that? Now, who was the next person that you remember asking a question beginning with why? Now, the normal response here is a teacher. And again, I could ask you what the question would be and it would probably be the same response. Why did you do that? Or why didn't you do that? So when we start to ask questions beginning with why of people, we have to deeply understand that it creates an emotional response. When we're asking questions beginning with why, we're starting to tap into people's principles, ethics and morals. And when we ask these questions, people start to feel potentially attacked and they become defensive and they will start to justify and make excuses. So when we do this, we have to be aware that we do this with absolute love and respect and a deep rapport with the individual. Before we get into this, the easiest way to do this is ask questions beginning with what. This creates a level of objectivity. It gives enough space for the person to think. So rather than asking someone, why did you do that, we could ask what the thinking was that was behind that. What were the actions that caused that to happen? Rather than, why didn't you do that? Now, I'm not saying never ask questions beginning with why. I'm asking and requesting of you to use it super intelligently. Think before you ask. The way to build a relationship first is to ask what to find why rather than why to find what. Remember how you felt when I asked you that question and when you reminded yourself as well in those moments. So be aware that when we do this, subconsciously we take people back to being 3 years old and being told off. And it's the same for all of us. So create the space for the individual to find their own answers so they can raise their own awareness, take responsibility for their actions and create forward momentum in their performance, whether personally or professionally. Now this has been lesson number 1. I look forward to seeing you in lesson number 2. Reminder, 5 bums on a bench. Ask what to find why, never why to find what. And I'll see you in the next lesson.